Okay, so we're gonna try to make a kaleidoscope today in this warm-up. So what I want you to do before you get started is find a photo, and it could be literally of anything, but preferably a landscape or cityscape. I chose this one because I like kind of the just the lines that are in it because of these trees. You can choose whatever you want. Anyways, get that open, and then from there you are gonna create a new document. So File and then New. And then you'll come over here and it's just the width should be 12. Make sure that says inches, that part's important. 12 is the height, so you're just making a square document. Resolution is 150, and then go ahead and click on the word create. The next thing you need to do is we're gonna go ahead and find the tool that we want. So the tool that you want is this polygon tool down here. So it may look like the rectangle tool at this time, just choose the polygon tool, click and get that open. And then up here at the top, you got to customize it. So you need no fill. So just if there's something there, click on it and then make sure you choose the one with the red line through it. For stroke, you want to make sure it's black. As far as like line thickness, I chose 0.28 pixels. Just get it thin, okay? So 0.25, 0.28, whatever, it doesn't matter. All of this can be left alone, and then this right here is how many sides your shape is going to have. So I put 8 in there. Okay, the next thing you need to do is make sure your rulers are on. So to do that, go ahead and press Command and the letter R. All right, so now you should have these rulers. Okay, it doesn't matter what tool you're on. Ideally, you're on this polygon tool, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna put some guides in here. So I'm gonna kind of click and drag down, and I'm gonna find the 6. So that way it's like halfway. I'm just basically trying to find my center point here. And then I'll have this one as well. Okay, so those are my guides, and they're telling me where the center is. Okay, from here, I'm gonna go ahead and put my mouse right there in the middle. And here's what I've found. So as long as you're on the right tool, right, I'm gonna press the Alt key and the Shift key. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and drag out first. So I'm holding my mouse down right now, but now I'm gonna press Alt and Shift. And what that'll do is it'll kind of lock that shape coming from the center so I can pull this out. And I'm just going to go to about here. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge, but I'm going to go pretty close. Now, what I want to do to make this easier on myself is if I go right to the corner, I get my little like curved arrow. Okay, so I'm going to rotate that until one of the points, all the points kind of hit one of those guides that I just have. And now as you can see, like I went outside the lines, so I want to bring that back in. So I'm going to hold the Shift key while I do it and just kind of bring it in. And I might have to re-rotate it a little bit just to kind of line that up. Totally fine. Mine didn't completely line up the way I wanted to, so I am going to go ahead and grab my arrow, my move tool, and just get it to where I want it. So that's how I want it. Okay, so however you need to do it, get it there. The next thing you need to do is we're going to draw in the rest of the pieces, basically a large X. Okay, so I'm going to grab this brush tool, and then I'm going to make sure, so that brush size is way too big, so I'm going to go really small, like that small, so like 7 pixels. Okay, and then I'm going to make the hardness go all the way up to 100%. As far as the color, doesn't really matter. You're going to get rid of it eventually anyway. But all I'm going to do, so these lines are already there for me. Okay, so now I just want to click one time here, just a single click. Okay, actually make sure you have a color because otherwise you won't be doing much of anything. Single click, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key down, and that'll give me a nice straight line. And then don't hold the Shift key. I'm just going to click one time there, and now I'm going to hold the Shift key again. And now I have my second line. Okay, so mine's not exactly perfect, and that's fine. Do not worry about that. Okay, so now you have your template. What you are going to do from there is now you have to go to your photo. So I'm going to go back to that photo picture, and I'm going to grab my polygonal lasso tool, and I am going to make a selection. Now, here's what I've found. It kind of needs to be like, if you look at it, like the type of triangle that it is, it's not quite like a right triangle, but it's definitely just take a look at it so you can do this the right way the first go around. Doesn't always work the first go around, and sometimes you will fumble. So I'm just gonna kind of make my selection, right? Grabbing the part of the tree that I want. Okay, and then I'm going to take that move tool so I can cut out that selection, and I'm going to bring it up to my template here. Okay, and I just realized that I did skip a step, so we're going to have to cover that in just a second. I'm going to zoom out though first. I'm not worried about the fact that I skipped a step just yet, but I am going to adjust the size of this and kind of just move it here for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these, I'm going to go to my layers palette. So I'm over here and I'm going to select all these. Okay, this is the step that I kind of skipped. I'm going to hold the shift key down. I'm going to click on the word background, right? So that way it selects all 3 of those layers. And then I'm going to go up to the top up here where it says layer, and I'm going to merge those layers. Okay, so no big deal. So now it's all just on one. And then that way this one is just kind of free floating. Okay. And where I want to put it, so I have this bounding box around it because I have show transform controls clicked on. If you don't see it, go ahead and click that on so that way it's easier for you. Now what I'm going to do is just rotate this, and my goal here is to try to get it to like fit into this space right here as closely as I possibly can without it just absolutely being awful. So I'm going to make it bigger than I need to. Okay. If you hold the shift key, you can kind of just like, it won't force you to do it to proportion. And for something like this, it's not really necessary to do it to proportion. So keep that in mind too. Like mine is way wacky. It's not even like the size that I would like it to be. So trying to do this quickly, and it is not working out the way I was hoping it would. Let's see if I bring that this way more. So it can go outside of the lines, it just can't go, it has to click away from that nonsense. Okay. You just want to make sure it fills the space. That's the biggie. Okay, so make it larger than you need. Did I do that? Good enough. Okay, good enough. It's larger than I need. And speaking of, really quickly, I'm going to lock these things down. So like if you select that and you just hit command and the number, and we go to, okay, so I have this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in so I can see what the heck I am doing. I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity of that a little bit so I can see. And then I'm going to grab my polygonal lasso tool, and I am going to come in here, and it looks like all kinds of things got a little whacked out for me. So forgive me while I fix something that's all I needed to fix. Okay, so polygonal lasso tool, and then I am going to draw this shape that it's supposed to fit into. Okay, so easy. Okay, now I have that shape. Now what I'm going to do, because it's a selection, I'm going to go up to the top where it says select, and I'm going to go to inverse. So basically everything outside of that selection is actually selected. So notice right here, like out, it's all around it. And then I'm just going to grab my eraser tool. Okay, so this is the toughest part, honestly, like just all of this stuff. Make sure you're on the right layer if that yours shows up like mine. And then just erase the stuff you don't want. So this first piece, like what I was trying to say, is just, it's the hardest part to like maneuver. After this, it gets really easy. Now I'm going to kind of make my brush just a slightly larger because I'm going to make sure I got all of it that's out floating out here that I can't even see. Okay, then from there I will go ahead and increase that opacity. All good. And deselect this by pressing command and the letter D. Okay, that's your first piece. So you got that part done. now we got to make our second piece. So to do that, easy, Command and the letter J. Notice that now I have a layer 2 copy. Okay, that's great. Now go up to the top and go to Edit, go down to Transform, and go to where it says Flip Horizontal. Okay, now we have another one. So first thing I want you to notice, see how I thought I was erasing all that good stuff? I did not. It's still there, which is totally fine. Don't stress it. That's yours is probably going to have it too. It's not a big deal. You won't even see it. Okay, see, as soon as I put my piece into position, it is gone. Okay, so there is my piece for the most part. And you're going to notice that in order to line it up, I might have to like veer away from my template just a tiny little bit. I'm okay with that too. So I'm actually using my arrow keys to make it better because my mouse wants to kind of click into position. All good. I'm going to erase that later. Hit that check mark. Then what I'm going to do is now I want to merge these two layers. So I'm going to go up to the word layer and then down to merge down. Okay. So it'll just merge one down. Now, so both of these pieces are on the same thing. Okay, it's selected still. So now I'm working on the whole top half. I'm going to press Command and J, and I'm going to repeat what I just did. Layer, or excuse me, Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Okay, now I have another one, and I'm just going to move it over. Over more to right about there, and again I will erase all that later. I'm going to do what I just did before. I'm going to go to Layer, Merge Down. Okay, Command J again. This time something slightly different. Transform, Flip Vertical, and take that piece, put that together, line it up. Feel free to merge that down. Now it's all one piece. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab that eraser tool and I'm just going to kind of come in and clean it up. I can even get rid of these guides too because they're kind of in my way. So I'm going to go to View and then Guides and then to Clear Guides. So now they're gone and I can just erase all that nonsense. And as I'm doing that, once I'm through with this part, I am done. So just quickly clean it up. You will save this as a JPEG and you will turn this into your sketchbook. Okay, so all good. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Please use, I printed out the same bit of notes. Those are located underneath the projector if you need them. Other than that, hopefully this should be a fairly easy exercise. And I'm very curious to see what you guys all come up with.